It'll be 3-0.
Better than the alternative, right? I think we've shown a lot of spirit and fight. I'm not saying we've played that great, but I think we've shown some fight and some determination. And going there to Washington, we knew was going to be tough on that back-to-back, especially after an emotional Friday night. And I think, we had a number of guys. We looked at a lot of combinations. We hung around, and we're fortunate to get out of there.
How's DeLon doing today?
Pretty good. He actually went through the shoot-around. He will not play or dress tonight, but we're ready, we think, for Wednesday to give him a go.
With Kawhi, is there a plan regarding back-to-backs or load in general, or is it just sort of we're going to see where he's at game by game?
Yeah, I think there's a plan, right? The plan is that we look at it as we go here and take it a little cautiously. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the plan. I don't hate to sit here and say, there's no plan whatsoever. We're just, what time is it?
There's no every back-to-back policy, or is there?
No, I don't think so. We, again, early here, I think it's heavy. There was a heavy moment right at the beginning here. I think if you look down the road and it looks heavy again, it's probably a good idea that we'll do it again. But if it's an isolated, where there's not some days leading in and days after, I think we'll look at it as we go.
Would you have, was it more?
I don't look that far. I know. You know what I'm saying? I probably should, look down there and figure it all out. But I'm a little consumed with the next game coming sometimes.
I mean, obviously you have a big role in it, but is it one of those situations where even when you looked at that schedule when it came out, would Alex, et cetera, have said, let's look at that back to back and see how those first two games
I think.
Did it end up he played 73 minutes and we're like?
Well, again, I don't think we made the decision to rest him until we got here. I think we were still looking at how it all looked, how he was. I think we're all probably a little bit on the fortunate side of where we are when we, did we know he was even going to be ready at training camp or playing, all those kind of things. So he's played pretty heavy minutes. He's went through all the practices in training camp. Missed a preseason game or two or something like that too. But I think we're pretty happy with where we're at, and we'll just continue to monitor.
Charlotte's playing incredibly well, especially hitting the three ball. What's the key to sort of slowing down a team that's shooting it like that, and how do you slow down Kemba?
Well, obviously they're playing fast and open, and they're really letting them go. And they've changed their lineups a little bit, as a lot of teams have, to put a little bit more spacing and shooting on the floor. So that's the first thing. So that's like, Coach Borrego looks at his roster and says, "No, let's do this right from the go." That's how I see it, and it's worked for him, right? So there's a lot of space, there's a lot of speed, and guys playing with a lot of confidence. So how do you stop it? Well, we got to get back. We got to do a much better job of talking in transition and taking away the early three ball, right? The early transition three ball. Then we're going to have to do a really good job of getting into them, right? Get into the ball, provide a little bit more help. And again, it's concentration and communication and effort.
I mean, Kyle does it for you guys, and certainly Steph Curry's of the world, like that transition three or that deep three from the point guard. Is that the hardest thing to counter as a defense? Because
it's pretty hard, right? It's pretty hard, and I love them because I think it catches everybody. For how many? Well, for the first couple of years Steph did it, you were just like, right? And even when Kyle does it, when he lets him go, it still draws a gasp from the crowd, right? Even though he's doing it. But we talked about him doing it from deeper and deeper this summer. I said, keep working on it, keep extending it, because what happens is if they got to pull out and guard that, then you're hesitating and going around them, and now you're creating another problem for them. So trying to get Fred to work on that deep one a little bit and see if we can get a couple more guys working on it too.
Danny Green said he's just impressed with Kyle, says funnest guy to play with right now. He said, is this the best short game run you've seen from him to start of your
Kyle? It's pretty good. I think he's come out of the blocks like this before. I mean, that's your guys. You guys go look at that from yeah. So he does get himself ready and come out good a lot, but he's been pretty tough, man. I mean, he's been pretty tough, and that's we know he can play like that. So he's been good.
I feel like he call his own about almost everything on the floor like you are this this year. I mean, what was your intent there in terms of like, and have you seen an impact with Kyle, like a change?
Yeah, I don't know how much that's impacted him, to be honest. But again, I like to. I think listen, those guys, both of them. I keep saying Fred and Kyle are both really smart guys that can run the team right out there, and I look at them at free throws and let them call, and they got a feel of what they think's going to work, et cetera. I may throw a couple out there here and there and direct a little traffic, but it's we're trying to develop a what do you see, what do I see, and what do we both see together, mentality.
What do you know about James? He's also first-year head coach. So do you have much of a book on him, or do you go look at pop stuff and go?
Well, he's he had the interim job in Orlando as well, and yeah, he's doing a lot of Spurs-like stuff, and he brought Tony Parker with him, as well. So there's some of those plays that are in there as well. But he's you look at what he's doing, pretty smart, right? Pretty smart. He's again changed the rotations, moved some pieces around. He's got Walker playing at an all-time level, and he's got Batum revived, and Zeller's back playing. He's doing good. They're a tough team.
We're talking to Danny about these point of emphasis on off-the-ball fouls.
Yes.
You guys seem to commit your fair share of them.
Nope.
What do you think of the point of emphasis, and do you think it will be accepted or will it recede?
Well, we're committing our fair share, and so are a lot of teams. Like I'm watching the games at night around the league, and Golden State had their fair share last night, right? And it was really frustrating to them. I think I don't know how many times the other night when a guy was coming out with his fourth foul the other night, I'd give him 5 and say, "Welcome to the new NBA." We got to adjust and we got to accept it and we got to learn, right, as quickly as possible. But it's not easy to make a big rule change like that. And now you're out in the battle, and it's like exactly opposite of what we've been teaching. Everybody's been teaching, grab, hold, don't let them cut, get physical, keep your hands on them at all times, all that stuff. So we've all got to, get our hands up in the air and show them, to the ref that we're not holding and using them and adjust as quick as we can. And I would imagine, I don't have the numbers on this, but I would imagine scoring's going up.
Way up. It's way up. Big time.
Thanks. It's like the NFL, right? Nobody can hit anybody, and everybody puts up 40 points, and the quarterbacks are all throwing for 450. But that's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Games over 130 already this year than there were the entire month of October last year.
Yeah,
You're averaging 140.
yeah.
Which is, I guess, good for TV.
We got to get our numbers up then a little bit, right?